On the Thursday before the election, Senator Chuck Grassley spoke at Donald Trump's rally in Sioux City. Trump, like he has often during the past 2 years, made numerous unfounded claims about the 2020 election being full of fraud. Well, this past week, Grassley tweeted that it's time to move on from 2020. He even quoted President Abraham Lincoln. Dave Kochel looked ahead to 2024 and doesn't think that Trump is going to scare others from running.
I think he wants to do that to clear the field. I don't think it's going to work. My guess is you're going to see a number of other candidates kind of exploring in the first quarter of next year, and you'll see a few get in and potentially, you know, the big one that people are looking at right now, who just had an unbelievably successful Tuesday night, is Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida. So he looks like the one who's got a lot of energy right now. I think there's a demand built up for him, not only in Iowa, but in other early states around the country. Obviously, you've got Mike Pence, who's looking closely at this. You've got several other candidates, Mike Pompeo, possibly Tim Scott, a lot of people who are going to look to get into this. And I think we're going to see a number of candidates coming in over the next 3 to 6 months.
Asa Hutchinson coming here in the week ahead as well. All right, so DeSantis calls you, let's say, and asks you, when is it okay for me to step foot in Iowa? He just won. Now, he won huge, but he's got a balance here, right? He can't make Floridians thinking he's all about running for president yet. So when do you advise him that it's okay to accept an invite to come speak at a dinner or whatever out here?
I'd probably wait until he's through his legislative session, because I think he's got some work that he wants to get done in the Florida legislature. I think he's got the luxury of some time because of his profile. I'm guessing he can wait until maybe mid to late second quarter before he makes his first step into Iowa. Meanwhile, you know, he's shown the capacity to get himself on Fox News all he wants. He is the center of a lot of attention from the media. He's going to have no trouble staying in the middle of a debate. He's very good at that. So I think he's got a little more time maybe than some of the candidates who would need to come through and, you know, do the Pizza Ranch tour and go to all 99 counties and that sort of thing. So it's a little bit different for him. I think he's got a little bit more time. I'd probably, if I were advising him, and I'm not, I would say, you know, maybe show a little bit of leg, go on Fox, talk about the race, but don't necessarily start making early state visits, you know, right away after the first of the year. I'd give it some time.
So maybe show some leg, but don't show those white boots again.
Hey, those were appropriate for where he was, I'm told, anyway.
Or to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, you know, whatever. From a practical standpoint, let's say Trump gets in here, and it sounds very much like he would. What is realistic to expect for a number of active candidates in 2023? Not the ones who come here like once or twice and then disappear. But what do you think the active number would be? You think 4, 5, 6, something like that? What do you think?
Yeah, I think 4, 5, or 6, 7. Anything over 10 is way too many. Obviously, the crowded field in 2016 really helped Trump, who was never getting really more than 30% in any contest. But when you've got the rest of the vote distributed across, you know, what, 18, 20 candidates that we had, you know, there's really no way to get past someone who's got that kind of celebrity and fame. I think, you know, this race probably will never be a one-on-one race between DeSantis and Trump. But if you keep it down to a pretty small stage, where if they're getting on a debate stage and there's 3 or 4 or 5 who look like they're going to make a real run at it, that's when I think you'll see, you know, the race really open up, and maybe it does turn into a 2 or 3 candidate race, which is, I think, the only way you're going to be able to be successful running against a former president who still, you know, has a support of a big chunk of the party and a lot of fans, you know, who, you know, show up at his rallies and you know, would support him for another term.
Kim Reynolds showed up at his last rally. Will she play host like Terry Branstad did, or do you see her actively campaigning on behalf of Trump?
I haven't talked to her about it, so I don't know exactly what her plans would be. But, you know, Iowa has a tradition of kind of staying out of these things and letting the candidates come in and make their case, and trying to provide basically the best possible environment for candidates to come in and campaign, putting your thumb on the scale, particularly when you're a really popular figure like Governor Reynolds is. It doesn't seem to me like the kind of thing she would want to do. But I haven't talked to her about it. I don't know what her plans would be. I think it's good for Iowa to have a good, open-spirited contest for president and for the caucuses. It doesn't sound like we're going to get a Democratic caucus cycle, or we may not. So I think having people kind of stay out of this one and let the candidates come in and make their case it seems to me like the best approach. And I think it's really gonna help focus the conversation around the candidates and not try to game the system by trying to lock down endorsements. I think these candidates got to come talk to voters.
Up next, 2 State House Democrats on what the party should do after this tough election.